To be honest, I have a sweet tooth. I really do. I'm not the candy man. I'm not here to sugarcoat this. You guys, most people know already. Most of you know already. AI ATS filters out most resumes before a human being even sees it. So your chances of getting to the next stage is like zero. Like zero, so small. It's crazy. Our competition, they're using AI tools that neither of us have heard of. Luckily for you, I'm here. My name is Michael Chuku. I'm your Race Careers AI Accelerated Career. I remember in my first initial resumes, it said in my skill section, I speak English very well, which is not much to say, but I made a lot of mistakes in my career. I'm a father, I'm a husband now, I'm a provider, and man, my journey has been tough, but I'm glad that all the mistakes I've made, all the places I've learned has allowed me to work in so many different industries where I've been able to be of value to different companies. And now I'm looking to help you do the same. I recall my first job back in New York City, summer youth. For those of you who know, I got fired in like 2 weeks. I worked on farms. I worked, people I've literally gotten, I'll say death threats, but I've literally had people challenge my life because I was asking them for their information. And, it's just been a long journey, but, all those make me who I am today. And I would not be the founder of Race Careers if not for all those experiences. There's a difference, and I'm sure everyone I'm sure you can relate to this, where there are times where either you're looking for a job from a job or without a job. And without a job is very interesting because every recruiter call, every application holds so much weight. How many times after interview, you're like, you finish interview, you close all the tabs, and you're like, man, like, did I get the job or not already? Like, you just said thank you for interviewing me, and now you're waiting for the response already. And that whole cycle is just it's so draining, but obviously it's what everyone goes through. You and I, you won't be on behind the screen and me behind the camera. We're on the same page with that. We know what it feels like, and I've been through it enough times to understand that I can add value to your search because I don't want you out there looking for a job and feeling hopeless because that's how I felt sometimes. But I found the secrets, and that's why we're here. Being a father is like, oh my gosh, I want to get a job by my daughter's birthday. You trying to make these milestones of when you want to be working, and it's like you just got to figure it out. And like I said, life taught me that it doesn't matter what I need. If an employer does not see the value I can add to them, it doesn't matter. So if they're not seeing my resume, then how can they know the value I can add? And that's why I really had to really polish everything I had from my profile, my LinkedIn profile, my resume, interview process, how to network, how to say thank you after interview, and so much more. And while AI might be a scary tool, it has also very much helped me in the search and preparation, in applying, and just so much. And I'm not gonna give you all the tips here, all the sauce here, but just trust me knowing that the process I went through is the reason why I'm able to offer the help I'm offering right now. Obviously, you can find value everywhere else. You can search other places, but trust me, like my experience is something that like no one has seen before in terms of how to tackle your career. You know, I've been in jobs where I felt like I didn't deserve to be there. But in this age of AI, like you can learn pretty quickly. You can know where your areas of improvement are, even without your manager telling you at 11 o'clock on a random check-in. Because end of the day, like we all want to either go get into our next job, or we want to be promoted, or we just want to make sure we're stable enough not to get replaced by AI. And I believe that I can help you with all those skills because, like I said, it's a brutal job market. So whether you're searching for a job or whether you're trying not to search for a job, I understand the process. So a few experiences that I'll share. One thing is, whenever you get a call from a recruiter and it's a AI voice, you're already like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to do with this. So it's like, even me, I'm growing in my own process because when I get those AI calls, I'm like, let me talk to a real person. A person can relate to me, they can understand. I can say, and it won't like pick it up as a wrong word. You know what I'm saying? I had another time where I had, I stepped on a call and I was told that I was only going to be two people on the call and it was like five. And I was like, wow, it was really shocking to me. But something I'll say about those type of interviews, the best thing I'll say is you can only get one question at once. So even if it's five people interviewing you, only one person can give you a question. So that's just a small tip I'll give you there. And I remember telling my wife this. I'm like, I feel like I got like jumped. Like people they kind of beat me up. But then again, you learn to keep your composure because not every interview is gonna be one on one. So just being able to be adaptable. I'll say 90% of interviews is being able to be relaxed under pressure because even the person interviewing you they have their own deadlines and own like quotas to meet. So just being able to bring your own experience and making sure that you provide what they're looking for. And the last story I'll share for now is I remember I had 4 or 5 interviews from one company in a week. So it was like I'll have an interview at 8 a.m., an interview at 12 o'clock, and it really shows you that there are so many different ways to get a job, but you just have to really do whatever you can, have a structured process. You don't want to be random in your process. You don't want to be just assuming and guessing because, in this job market, like if you're not top notch and people don't like you, then, and I'll say last thing, as much as I want to help every single person and not everyone is serious, with the job market, sometimes a company already knows who they're hiring and they just bring you on because they want to fill on a quota. And that's okay. You can always make a great impression because down the road, I've had recruiters reach out to me like, oh, even though this interview didn't go well because, they already had a quota filled, I've gotten calls back and I have evidence of it. So just being able to always have a great impression, prepare like it's your job to make $1 million per year, and take everything seriously, even from the recruiter calling you, how you appear, how you look, the time you show up. And these are just some things I'll go more in depth, but just being able to be yourself, but also add value in who you are.